The New York Knicks have indeed had a rocky 2021-2022 season this period, and one they would like to forget. They need to put in the work if they're going to get back in form and shape. There's a need for improvement, and the team has so much potential to grow more, as fans are hopeful. In this video, we will talk about how they intend to tackle these issues that caused their demise this season. Stay tuned. First up, what is the New York Knicks team major issues? It was pretty obvious what went wrong for the team, and one major contributing factor to their offseason, if I may say, is the unforeseen injury issue that they suffered at the point guard position. Although these injuries pushed players like Obi Toppin into playing larger roles this season, securing a good point guard this season is of necessity, as this would help the team improve, if not drastically, but very significantly. Also, one of their main key players, Julius Randle, in the last season was no longer as effective. It was rumored that the Atlanta Hawks showed how to defend Randle and the Knicks in their first-round playoff matchup last season, and if the rumors are true, it was seen this season that the rest of the NBA followed suit. The New York Knicks sought to remedy this problem by adding some offensive players like Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, who unfortunately were really of no impact that the Knicks were looking for. Although they were better in offenses, it harmed their defense, and their defense was one of their strongholds last season. With a lot to do this offseason, the New York Knicks need to do better, and here are 3 offseason trade targets that they need to monitor. So, what 3 offseason trade targets and positions are the New York Knicks monitoring? With tradable contracts and good drafting capital, the New York Knicks are in a very good position to shake their budget and sign some new players into their roster. They need to consider this imperative and tackle it immediately, and they are looking into filling some key positions like the center position, point guard, and power forward. We would be looking into some of the people that the Knicks have in mind and the important positions they will play. Now, what of Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers? One of the positions the New York Knicks have to fill this offseason is their center position. Even though some might think that they don't need it because they have the likes of Cam Reddish, they seem to not be taking any chances, as injuries were one of the reasons they had such an awful season. So it wouldn't hurt anyone if they even had them as substitutes, which I doubt would be the case. Also, it has been heard that one of their current center forwards, Mitchell Robinson, will be heading to the market soon, and they will need someone to replace him, making fans and the public ask whether they are considering Miles Turner as a good replacement. Miles Turner could be back to the market this offseason after missing out on 39 games this last season due to an unforeseen injury to his foot. He was gaining a lot of attention before the 2022 NBA trade deadline, and as a result of the misfortune to his foot, he was what I would say missing in action, MIA. He's fully recovered, and the Knicks are looking to grab this deal/trade. So, are Jericho Sims and Nerlens Noel still an option? With a lot of high hopes, the Knicks expect that they will be able to get a solid return package on Miles. They are very much interested in this deal, especially if Mitchell Robinson doesn't return this season. Other rumors are still in the air that they might be considering the likes of Jericho Sims and Nerlens Noel to be on their roster this offseason. But frankly, in my opinion, there is no way the Knicks can trust Noel to handle starter minutes, most especially now that they are in no position for slip-ups. As for Sims, he did play well when put in the position last season, and I think that he might be able to handle it. But regardless, we cannot deny the fact that Miles Turner would bring the team to a whole new level in their offensive play, considering his shooting prowess. He is a gem, a rim protector, and an anchor according to the liking of Tom Thibodeau, their current coach. Is NBA star G. Donovan Mitchell still in sight for Leon Rose? Looking into the past few years, the New York Knicks have been preparing to make a run for an all-star acquisition. Their current president, Leon Rose, has so far done a great deal of work on stockpiling a lot of draft picks and signing players that can be used to facilitate trades down the line. It is only left for fans and the whole mass to wonder if this is the season he strikes. Well, if it is, Mitchell Donovan would be their best bet. Some chances are that they are in the right market and would most probably sign the deal. So let's hope and see. Their decision is building attention, and people are weighing in thoughts on whether the president would follow his past dreams and sign Mitchell. Mitchell Donovan is a lead scorer and most probably the best option for the New York Knicks team at this period. He would surely take off a lot of pressure from Julius Randle or even RJ Barrett, whichever are still left after the deal. The Knicks should just push to retain Barrett, in my opinion, as trading him away would set their rebuilding efforts back, and quite frankly, Randle has been a little off his game and inconsistent this season. Yes, I am Team Donovan as the best pick. Records I would have shown quite a lot that he is an improving playmaker and trusted scorer. He is definitely what the team needs this offseason, with a lot of potential and a nice height and wingspan for the shooting guard or point guard positions. Well, if anyone can maximize his potential, I honestly think a coach like Thibodeau can get it done with him. And now, who will fill in the long-needed starting point guard position? Considered to be one of the reasons which was lacking, and for their awful season, if the New York Knicks could just do one signing this offseason, it's filling the starting point guard position. Very important, I must add. The need for a point guard has been long overdue for the Knicks team, and if they want to get back on track, they should do their homework. Last season, they had hoped to get Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose, but unfortunately, things didn't go according to their plan. They cannot enter this season without a good starting point guard, and they know it. They are looking into Immanuel Quickley as an option, but he seems best as a combo guard off the bench guy that can fluctuate between a lead facilitator and scoring guard. A lot of people are wondering why the Knicks haven't looked towards free agency and Jalen Brunson as the solution they need. Well, they do not have the cap space to just sign him, and the Dallas Mavericks team will not facilitate the moves, according to reports, leaving the trade market. The next best option for them is Denver Nuggets with Monte Morris as the target. Why is that? Well, he showed to be a good starting point guard for his team this season, taking over the injured Jamal Murray. So is Monte Morris a good choice? Monte Morris is not just an efficient scorer, but also a good point guard with a nice shooting slash line according to records. Although not yet a superstar, Morris made an average 3.7 assists per game in his career and also turned the ball over 0.8 times too. He would be a nice upgrade as opposed to what the Knicks have had playing in this position over the past few years. So I see why they wouldn't get him. A push for Monte Morris shouldn't break their market, leaving more than enough assets for them to make other moves this offseason. He would immediately fill into the role of the starting point guard as expected, giving their coach, Thibodeau, someone that he can lean on to get the offense set and also run things during timeouts. Their next season would be looking good and hopeful for them if they can finally get this lingering issue sorted out once and for all. And finally, why does the Knicks team need to let Cam Reddish go? The Knicks need to up their game, and if they start to secure these trades this offseason, we might get to see a whole new powerful team. Besides being hopeful at this point, I think they should finally let Cam Reddish go this offseason. Reddish has been seen to be an on and off kind of player since his stay in the Atlanta Hawks, and this continued in the Knicks. One season he's a beast, and the next he's sustaining injuries, no offense. He came to the Knicks with an injury, and also finished this season with one too. Even though there is so much potential for this young star, he is not what they need in this delicate period. Well guys, we've come to the end of this video, and I'm sure I have answered some of your questions, but if not, feel free to drop a comment and we'll get back to you. P.S. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.